All right.
Hello, and welcome to the latest ASMR.
God damn it.
I just
If this is
turn up my mic.
welcome if you're just finding this channel. This is the first episode of The Hidden Crypt. We are a podcast who generates or generally talks about random topics. So how this podcast works is I will have myself. I'll always be here. You can't get rid of me. I'm like herpes. I never go away.
Unfortunately.
So I will generate 3 topics, and then whoever comes up with the best rebuttal during said topics will have a guaranteed spot on next week's podcast, and they will get to come up with 3 topics for the next podcast that everybody will have to agree with. So basically I will score whoever's tonight's podcast's rebuttals are, and if they win, they win. Pretty simple. Tonight I have with me, I have Murph. He's he's my Scottish guy, one of my boys.
You know what?
Wiki, she's a Scottish
No, she's Polish.
No, I was about to say she's a Scottish illegal immigrant.
Thank you,
That's
of course.
exactly it.
So I'm over my fucking channel.
I also have my boy Tia. He and I have been friends for a very long time. He's a really cool dude. Real chill.
I'm only just now finding out what I just agreed to.
We will have hopefully 2 more joining us before this session is over. That will be my boy Eddie and my boy MF. And as soon as they join in, I will let them introduce themselves. So tonight's topic will be either A, we can talk about the worst trip, as in drug trip, that you have ever had.
Well, I'm immediately losing that topic.
I was on that because I don't
Yeah, I've got the best chance of winning with that, so maybe let's not go with that.
The worst trouble you've ever gotten yourself into,
Oh shit.
or the worst accident you've ever got yourself into.
Right, I've lost. I've lost.
Let's see
All of
here. Topic A, immediate loss, because I have never done drugs.
Same.
Topic B, I don't think I got a good story for that. And topic C, classified.
I mean, I've got stories for all of them, so I'll just roll with whatever you go with.
Okay. Let's see if I can think of something else.
I mean, I've seen my best friend spaced out as fuck on weed, but that's about it.
All right, then yeah.
No. Actually, I've seen Murph on Zans.
Excuse me, you cannot talk about situations you've seen me in. Doesn't quite count.
I've got all the recordings, but you remember fuck all. That's a problem.
Okay, so Murph would have a better chance of all 3 of those, so that kind of makes things unfair.
I guess we just get started.
Well, shit. I should have had a plan B for this, and I didn't.
Well,
and I
you
usually
actually
do.
had a plan A, B, and C, just none of them worked.
Yeah, true. So now we need a C, D, and E? Is that right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Is that how the
I've got
alphabet
CD.
works?
Well, you CDs if you want
We
them.
already had a C. We
Right,
did
yeah,
a D, E.
Yeah, the
we
D,
did
E, and F.
E, or a D, F.
Well, shit, let's just talk about random funny shit that happened in our life. Anybody got a good random funny story that's ever happened to them?
About 2015, I was out in the Mojave Desert on a training rotation with the 25th ID while they were a Stryker ICV unit. Sergeant's been chewing me out for the last 5 hours over some shit I forgot to do way earlier that day. It's the middle of the night, so I'm looking through the thermal scope on the driver's hatch to actually see where I'm going. Again, Sergeant's been chewing me out for 5 hours, so I've tuned his ass out.
Yeah, I can relate to that.
So, a rabbit runs across the screen. Now, I need to mention that I have ADHD.
Like this is good.
So, again, you have to remember, this is as he's still been chewing me out for the last 5 hours. I'm sitting there, hands on the steering wheel, watching where I'm going, trying to follow the striker in front of me. And all of a sudden, just this thermal image of a rabbit scampers right across the road.
Oh god.
Okay.
A bunny! And I mean, woo! A bunny! Wow. Out loud.
Oh my. Oh my.
I can imagine what your commanding officer could have, like, yeah.
Let's just say the following morning I wish I didn't have arms.
Oh, what did he put you on? Don't tell me he put you on, like, latrine duty or some shit like that.
No, we were on a training rotation out in the Mojave Desert in a Stryker ICV
Oh,
unit.
right, yeah, you just said that.
And I was the driver. Unfortunately for me, the day after was a, what was it? Oh, right. A pause day so that everyone could recuperate for about 24 hours.
I'm
Yeah, but
guessing
not
you
for you
didn't.
after seeing a bunny.
Yeah.
No, I spent a good 6 of that doing extremely heavy PT in the sun.
Oh god.
They literally pulled over the medic to keep an eye on me to make sure I didn't pass out.
I was about to say, at
Jesus
least,
Christ.
you know, they could have been like a, like a Full Metal Jacket situation where they made you play in your entire has gear.
That would require we unpacked it. And no one wanted to repack that Stryker.
I mean, I'm trying to think what my funniest leak story is, but the only thing I can think of is my love life. My life in general.
I mean, yeah, my life story is pretty much a joke in general.
Oh yeah, I feel you. I think when you're delivering for Amazon, that says it all about your life story.
Oh, one of the most Jewistic. Well, no, I need to stay away from political jokes.
At least on the first cast.
Right?
Yeah, on the first
Yeah.
cast, you don't want to make too many enemies in the first cast.
Hit him with the hard swings about 10 in, you know?
Yeah, yeah. And then they're already too deep in to like leave.
So, I might have a story that might make y'all laugh here.
Alright, give us a.
So, this was going to be my weed story, but I think it can kind of fall into all categories. When I was in Colorado, I did a lot of track racing, motorcycles. Sponsored by a really cool dude. Owned a high performance shop. My bike was actually a 2001 Gixxer 1000 that had a turbo on it. Really cool bike. Beautiful.
As if it didn't have enough power already.
Right? Like, I think the dyno had it at like 300 or 400 horsepower.
Right?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
So my girlfriend and I had just broken up before my last race. Or yeah, right before my last race. And I say it's my last race because you'll find out why. So I had my anxiety, my freaking nerves, everything was just getting at me that day. And that morning, I had taken a big ripping hit of a joint that I'd gotten off my buddy. And part of me was like, high-powered vehicles, tracks, corners, curves, I can handle it.
Yeah.
My second lap in, it starts to hit me. And I mean, like, hit me. And I took a corner. Instead of going the inside of the corner, I went outside the corner.
Oh, God.
Hit a patch of sand and slammed into a tire wall at 120 miles an hour.
Jesus Christ.
Not my best move.
Yeah, definitely not. It would have been better if you stuck to this.
And I thought Speedway is dangerous compared to like what you just said. I mean, that is, but
On a Mars on a bike on a good day is dangerous.
yeah, true.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Like,
I would.
more power to you if you're gonna use weed, but for like love of God, don't use it
I
if you're
would
gonna do something that
love-
requires focus and cohesion.
I would
Yeah.
love to see Mars on a Speedway bike because they have no brakes, and the top
Oh, that
speed you
bike-
get
that
is
bike
80.
That bike that he was riding had no brakes. His brakes were a tyre wall.
Well, yeah, ended up being a tire wall.
So I slammed into the tire wall, and my sponsor, he said all he saw was me hit the patch of sand, go through the sand pit, slam into the wall, and I'm laying there for 5 minutes. That's all he saw. He thought I was dead.
Oh my.
Then all of a sudden he sees me get up, brush myself off, look at the racetrack, look at my bike, look at my tire wall, and I collapsed again. He's like, okay, for sure, this kid is dead. And the EMS, when the EMS and everybody finally shows off, they take my helmet off, look me over.
No, $5,000 right there, just for the EMS.
Right. And they're like,
But expensive crash.
Xavier, are you okay? Are you coherent? And I'm just looking at him like, what happened? They're like, we were hoping you could tell us. Did the bike malfunction? Did something happen? Like, I'm like, I don't know. So, I'm recovering for 3 days at my best friend's house. And I finally just wake up. Like, I had been just asleep for almost 3 days straight. And the first thing I do when I look at my buddy is like, man, I should not have smoked that pot because I don't remember anything. He's like, you are fucking lucky, dude. He's like, the only thing you have right now is a fractured arm and a bruised side. That is all you have. You are lucky. And I'm like, yeah.
You know what? I've never passed out before. I was close to
Never?
it once. I was close to it because of Sam once. Her fault. And it was the most stupid of reasons ever, because we were playing this like whack-a-mole game in an arcade when she came over to Scotland. And like where I was standing, I had like 2 whack-a-moles right next to me. She had the 4 other ones she was whacking with a hammer. And she out of nowhere just goes and whacks my wee mole thing that I was like hitting. And she fucking like, I had fake nails at that time. She just like whacked my fucking nail off. And my first thought was, my nail's gone, I'm gonna pass out. I looked at it, I was like, my real nail was still there. I was like, I don't think I'll pass out. I think I'll be fine this time. No, you should have seen Sam was laughing her head off. Afterwards, obviously. But I've never actually like, passed out in my life.
Yeah, the most recent time I almost passed out was when I got my tattoo. I think that was like the worst pain I'd ever been through, like, in a while, because as soon as he got up to the inside crack of my arm,
I was about to ask, where was the tattoo?
As soon as he said inside crack,
That's what I was as
wow, I
well.
was like, wait, hold on a minute, where are we going here?
I was thinking the exact same thing.
I could use a soda.
See, this is why we need to hire people that just bring us drinks.
Right?
Especially for alcohol, like me that needs a beer every 2 minutes.
What if I just train my dog? I could train him, maybe.
Train your dog. The what I'm not going to even say what I thought you said.
I don't even want to know what you
Right.
thought she said.
I was kind of like trying to figure out what do I want to drink from the store. I was like, okay, just like a Coke or something like that. And then I thought she said she wanted to train her nub or something like that. And I'm like,
What?
yeah, that was what was going through my mind.
I mean, that sounds equally fun.
I mean,
It does.
I mean,
A
if you
way
got
of
a
training
nub,
nub is
yeah,
a nub.
yeah. I mean, it's like a good doorbell. You have to push it at least every once in a while.
Just check it still works, you know? Ring the
Yeah.
I can't
Anyways.
even and bought at this time. I live literally in the arse crack of nowhere.
The what?
Arse crack of nowhere,
You
as
said
Dean
arse
likes to
clack?
call it.
Arse clap.
Crack.
Yeah, she said clack.
Oh, I thought she
Yeah.
said clap. I was like, who the hell is clapping your ass? Like,
I wish. No, just kidding.
I mean, you're what, 2 hours from Murph? Murph, get on it.
No, not even. 15 minutes.
That's right.
How? Why not?
That would definitely get this podcast demonetized. Just
Yeah,
a straight
definitely.
hour of Murph clapping Murphy's ass, or Wiki's ass.
Oh
Yeah, that
god.
I don't think anybody wants to hear that.
I think that would be something I'd have to load up to Pornhub instead of YouTube.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Like,
I would rather not. As much as it make
Oh, come
me
on!
money,
It's just
Rather not.
audio. Yeah, it's just the audio of it. It's not like
you
it's the
just hear
full
me
video.
heavy breathing.
Murph, that's you with a good cigarette. So
Yeah, that's true. That's me right now, almost.
oh
Oh, actually, I remember quite a funny story.
oh
Right, so I was drinking, usual, when I'm not drinking, but I was like shit faced drunk this night, and I was sitting in my computer chair on Discord, and I like passed out in my chair at like 2 in the morning, and I'd been working all day, so like I just flat out passed out, and I woke up at like 4 in the morning, fireworks going off, but it sounded like one hit my window.
I
The
remember
window was
that.
open. It was so
remember that.
loud, and like I woke up, but I'd only slept for like 2 hours by this point, and I'd been working the full day before, so I was tired as hell, drunk as hell. Woke up still drunk, and I woke up completely disorientated. Like, whoa, what the fuck was that? So I got up out of my chair, and I went into my grand's room, and I was like, "Did you hear that?" I was like, "What the fuck?" I was like, "They shouldn't be letting them off at this time." And next minute, I'm like, "Oh shit, I really need to pee." And there was a basket in the corner of my grand's room. I walked over to the basket, unzipped my pants, and my grand's like, "Dean, what are you doing?" I'm like, "Doing a piss." I'm like, "What do you mean? What am I doing?" She's like, "That's not the toilet." I'm like, "Don't be stupid." She's like, my grand's genuinely looking at me as if like, have I lost my mind? Like, what is this happening? And I'm just standing there, like, doing a piss in a basket. The next morning I walk in and she's like, "Do you remember pissing in that basket?" I'm like, "Wait, what?" She's like, you pissed in the basket. And when I told you it wasn't the toilet, you were like, "Don't be stupid." I was like, "Oh shit, I must have been really fucking drunk."
One might say a little too drunk.
what about
Just a
you?
little.
And
What
Dean's thought process was nothing like too drunk.
There's never
No,
a too
no,
drunk
no.
Murph.
Yeah, I
there's
mean,
never.
like, too drunk to most people would be when you drink that much you pass out, but I drink that much I pass out, wake back up and reach for the drink next to me.
Yeah, I've witnessed it. Like, I remember he once passed out on FaceTime with me, and I like stayed on the call, and he just woke up, and I was like, "Oh, good morning." First thing he fucking does is reach for a drink. I was like, Jesus Christ, does he like
I have
ever have a break?
too many screenshots that people have taken of Murph just being butt ass naked, drunk
Oh
in
my
his chair.
God. Mars, I think I have
Let's
the
not
most.
talk about the flip flop. Let's not bring the flip flop into this.
I wasn't gonna bring the flip flop up, but now you brought it up, so now you
No,
have
no,
to
no,
tell the
no,
flip flop story.
Shit. I don't want to tell the flip-flop story. I'd rather we forgot about that. I'd rather it didn't happen, to be very
I
honest.
mean,
All right, we can leave that for another story. We'll just leave
that's-
people guessing.
That's for another time.
Like, what the hell is the flip flop story?
They'll find out in another
that-
episode.
that shit was, oh my god. I've got so many fucking screenshots of Dean like drunk, high, on Zans. I've got fucking videos of him on Zans.
Excuse me, can you stop telling the world about
And-
my fucking problems?
No, we're not telling them about your problems. We're telling them about your possibly not working solutions.
That's a good way to put it. I'm going to stick with it. What he said, I'm sticking with that.
Yes, exactly.
What about
Yeah,
Tia?
but like,
Tia, I know
yeah.
you gotta have some good drunk stories.
Actually, that's the thing. I don't really drink all that much alcohol.
I mean, what? You were in the military
Do
for
what
how
I
long?
want.
You can't
Oh,
tell
dude.
me there was not one day where your sergeant or commanding officer had just been like, look, let's just go have a drink. Because, like,
Yes,
that was
there
me
was a
just
couple
about
of those-
every weekend going
There
through
were a
PT.
couple of those days, but I was a lot more reserved on that. However, there was a guy named Mahoney when I was with the 173rd in Italy who chased another one of our guys around with a knife
That sounds like a good night. I want to hear about that.
and promptly didn't remember it the next morning.
What happened to him the next morning?
Jesus Christ.
As far as I'm aware, nothing.
Oh, okay. I would have like tied him at his bed.
Look, it's like this, man. It was one of those situations where I don't want to find out. I don't want to know. I'm closing my door.
Yeah, like just live and let live.
I mean, you know, the Army does have a don't ask, don't tell, you know.
No, they repealed that, but
Oh, did
Yeah.
Oh, did my voice literally just crack right then? Like, did
Going through. Oh, you
Yeah, I
going
think I
through-
heard your balls.
balls finally dropped.
Oh, yeah. I'm happy. What time they dropped?
Wait, what?
Wait, was that just three of us telling you his balls just dropped?
Yeah, I think all three of us were literally saying about how his balls just dropped.
Well, damn.
Now he's sitting there checking them like, oh, yeah.
Yep, still got 3.
Three.
What? Three? Hold on a minute, I think you said you would have done.
Hey, not counting the one on your chin.
I'm fucking Peter Griffin over here.
Alright, I got a good drunk story for you. Well, one of my many.
Oh, right, let's hear it.
So, y'all know that I just got back from New York, right?
Yep.
So, I spent 3 days up in New York. And my first night there, my family was like, "Yeah, let's all have some. Let's all go out to dinner. Let's go have some fun. So we went to grandma's house or something like it. I can barely remember the night, and everybody was like, "Yeah, hey, it's Xavier." I'm like, "Hi, who are y'all?" Because I haven't seen them in like 12 years. And apparently, it's a family tradition that during a funeral, all the Puerto Rican men get together and drink. I don't have a very high alcohol tolerance like I used to anymore. So they're all like slamming shit back. And I'm trying to keep up with them. And I get like 6 shots in.
Mistake number 1.
Exactly. And like everything else was like a blur. I think I remember texting my ex-girlfriend.
Oh.
Oh.
That's
And
never a good one with that.
Oh.
and I can't find the message history because it was on Instagram.
Oh, shit. She
The
didn't even
only-
know what you said.
Yeah, the only thing I woke up to was, "What the fuck are you talking about?" That was the last text I got, and I haven't responded to her because I'm like, I don't remember what I said. Like,
I mean, you wake up with that on your phone, you know you've had a good night.
That,
What?
or you probably should be looking for the script of The Hangover.
but so
Yeah.
we're on our way back, and we stopped in Florence, which one of my mom's best friends runs a hotel there, and right across the street is a hibachi grill, and I am like I am weak-kneed for hibachi. Like, you want to have your way with me, take me to a hibachi grill. Like,
okay,
I am... yeah, right?
I'm writing that down. Hold on.
Yep, same. I made a
I'm
mental note of
googling
that
it.
shit.
Like, no joke, I'm googling it right now.
I was about to do that, but I was like, you know what? I do not need to know what hibachi is. I just need to know that it gets this man weak kneed.
So hibachi is a Japanese thing
that
where they
looks so
cook the
good.
food in front of you. And they
I
have
always
fun,
thought
and
it was
it's a really good time. So I'm sitting there.
Can I
First, go ahead, Wiki.
Can I just quickly say, if anybody ever takes me to like one of them, I'll fucking marry the person right then and there. Like, no joke. I've always wanted to go to one of them.
Hey, if you ever
Well,
come to
I've
the
never
States,
seen anyone.
yeah, if you want to come to the States, I won't marry you, but I will take you to one. Just
No
because I
offense.
believe everybody should enjoy a good hibachi moment.
No offense, you're too old for me.
Well, thanks.
No offense.
Thanks.
That's rude, man. That's rude.
Thanks.
Excuse me, I've got
Man's
limits.
offering to buy you hibachi. What the fuck?
Um,
I've got limits, alright?
so every time I've been to a hibachi, like when they're spraying sake on the food, they'll usually be like, "Hey, who likes sake?" Well, I already had ordered a large bottle of sake before our guys got there to get cooked, and I was already about 3/4 of the way done with it. So I'm already a little drunk. And on
I thought
top
you
of
were
that,
driving.
no. But the day before, I had taken some edibles because I don't do well in the passenger side of the car on long trips. So I usually will eat an edible, I'll pass out, fall asleep like about halfway away and sleep through the rest of it. Wake up, I'll be fine. So I had ate too much of these Sour Patch Kids that we had got from a shop up in New York. And the guy was like, "Look, they're really good. You know, a guy of your size." And I'm a pretty decent big dude. So I took 2 of these Sour Patch Kids. I was like stoned for 2 days straight.
That's crazy.
So I'm about coming off the end of this. And my mom's like, "Do you want to go have hibachi?" I was like, "Yeah, I'll have a drink. I'm starting to not feel so high." I get there, order my sake, and I'm enjoying my appetizer. The guy finally shows up, and he goes, "All right, who wants some sake?" And I was like, "I already got some." He goes, "Oh, come on, pussy, let's go." And I was like, "All right, fine." So he holds the bottle up to my mouth, and he counts to 5. You know, he's squirting into my mouth. He's like, 1, 2, 3, 4, a 5. And I'm like, I didn't spill a drop. I was good. I'm like, cool. He goes, "All right, I got a challenge for you." I was like, great. What is this? He goes, "Let's do 3 more rounds. We'll do a 10-second, a 15-second, and a 20-second. And if you can make it through all the rounds, I will pay for your meal."
Oh, that's a good one.
I'm like, "Yo, let's go." So I'm like, "Let's go balls out. Let's do this."
Balls to the wall.
Yeah.
As we do.
And
Hi,
so, hey, MF.
Hello.
MF, I'll let you introduce yourself here in a second. So he's cooking the food. He's like, "Okay, you ready for round 2? I was like, "Yeah, sure. Fuck it. Let's go." So he pours it up pours it, and this time he starts to back the bottle up. So like he's moving the bottle farther and farther away from my face. And I'm like, okay, this man's trying to make me lose. I ain't gonna lose. So he counts to 10. And then he goes 9, 9, 9, 9, and then 10. And by this time, the bottle's like 3 feet away from my face, and I still have not spilled a drop. He goes, "Okay, cool. We'll move to round 3 here in a little bit." I was like, oh, thank God. So he gets halfway done with the meal. He's spraying the sake, and he goes, "All right, you ready for round 3? And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So he starts out with the bottle, like literally right at my face. And by the time he's done, it's now 5 feet away from my face. And I still have not spilled a drop. And that's 15 seconds. And by this time, I'm starting to feel really, like, out of it. I'm like, okay, I do what?
Utterly smashed.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm bent 360 ways from Sunday. And it's only a Monday, right?
So you're back this Sunday on the Monday.
Right? So I'm sitting here trying to eat my food, and he finishes up the couple that's sitting to my left. He's done with all the shrimp. He's about to clean up. He goes, all right, you ready for the final round? 20 seconds. You ready? And I'm like, all right, let's do this. You know, fuck it. Let's go all in. And he does. But at the last second, he's just holding it there. Like, he doesn't even count to 20. He's like, just holding it there. And I'm just not focusing on the time. I'm just trying to guzzle this shit while he's, like, trying to spray it all around and move it. And I'm, like, trying to just capture it. And he goes, really? And I'm like, what? He goes, he's like dumbfounded that I did this. And I'm like, I'm so bent. I'm like leaning. I couldn't even speak. So he looks at his boss. He goes, this kid's meal is on me. And I'm just like focusing. I couldn't even finish my meal. I was so drunk. And then my mom's like, all right, let's go. And I'm like, go where? She goes, back to the hotel room. I'm like, okay. I get up and literally just fall to the floor.
Oh my god.
Oof.
And my
Like
mom,
a big jack of potatoes.
yeah, my mom tries to pick me up and can't get me up. So my mom's best friend's husband and this random guy who was sitting right next to us, the couple that was sitting right next to us, are literally picking me up and dragging me to the car. That's not the worst part. The worst part is there was a couple cops coming in for their meal. I'm drunk off my ass, and guess who has a .40 caliber strapped to his hip?
Oh god.
Yeah. Couldn't get into the car. I couldn't figure out where we were. I get to the hotel, and I just literally pass out.
Did you at least wake up clean?
I remember getting woke up because some college kids were banging on my door, doing that knock knock ditch kind of thing.
Oh, I would have went out and fucking killed them. Man.
Oh, dude. My mom said when I answered the door, because she was standing right next to me, they opened the door in front of me and saw me. Like I said, I'm a big fucking dude.
Yeah.
And the kids looked at me and were like, and I'm like, did y'all get your all's door knocked on? They're like, no. And I'm like, did y'all knock on my fucking door? And the kids paused and were like, got this like, oh shit, we fucked up look.
Because they did.
Yeah. And then they're like, no. And I'm like, are you sure? One of your little fucking friends didn't knock on my door. And they're like, no, sir, no, sir, none of us did that. And I'm like, all right, I'm going back to sleep. I'm fucking done with this bullshit. And my mom's just like, yeah, y'all are okay. He's not gonna kill y'all. He's drunk. He just got woke up. And that's the end of my story.
Yeah, but your mum's secretly looking at them like, fuck off, before he actually does kill you. You know, I was delivering a package like last week, and I rang the guy's buzzer, and when I rang his buzzer, like I was like the door was open, so I was walking up the stairs as he answered the buzzer, and I got to the top of the stairs. The guy had came out of his house with this big, massive ass bull mastiff on a fucking chain, not even a lead, a chain. and the thing's barking at me, and the guy's just looking at me, and I was like, bro, I was like, your Amazon package, and he's like, oh, he's like, I thought it was some dumbass kids playing Chap Chap Runaway. I was like, no mate, it's your package. Honestly, I fucking shat myself.
Wait, what do you guys call it? We used to call it Chappie.
Aye, we call it Chappie.
What do you guys call it?
Over here in America, it's called Ding Dong Ditch.
Ding dong bitch.
Yeah.
It's kind of similar to what we call it then. We call it Chappie, but Chappie's short for Chap Chap Runaway.
Yeah. We're just too lazy to say the whole thing.
It's
We're too lazy to
consensual
say the
ass
full
whooping.
name.
Alright, so
Yeah,
we...
genuinely.
Alright, so we just had motherfucker... Or MF, his name's Motherfucker. His, if he wants to say his real name, he's welcome to do so. But MF, go ahead and introduce yourself to the podcast here so people know who you are.
I forgot to find out what the theme of the podcast was, so I know
Hold
how to
on.
tailor this
Oh shit.
introduction.
Someone's on the quiet side.
Come in.
Let's
Hello,
turn them up.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. It's just a little quiet. Let me turn you up. There we go.
It's because I'm in a truck on a Bluetooth headset on my phone instead of like at home. So turning me up, you might actually hear a little bit of
Did
an
you try that
international
mix I had up
medley
there for the roast?
as I wait
You might
for
want to come do
you
that
know
to make sure
a bunch
you're
of
going to be...
fucking defective
Lolly,
motherfuckers to
whatever.
learn how to share
It's
a road
good,
with
though.
me.
Okay, I mean, as long as it's good
I
and it's
would
edible.
love to like
I mean,
drive
your
a
truck
good.
wasn't moaning
One
about it or
day.
anything. My cousin
wouldn't be
does when she
trusted
eats
to
good
drive a
food,
truck.
but, you know, it wasn't...
Oh,
Inside
yeah.
the petrol bar.
Harley, get down
Excuse
here.
me, but I've only had like 4 lessons so far.
It's hot down
So
Uh,
the truck
I
I
gotta
drive
unmute.
does not require a CDL. I'm a tow truck operator, and so basically, and the difference between so
Oh,
you don't end up making sounds like that for me when I show up. It's more like oh fuck, I did something wrong.
You should have seen
no,
Mark's face.
So
I had myself muted because somebody knocked on my door, so I just figured I'd give you a
Right.
oh yeah as soon as I came back in.
no, so I'm the guy that there's 3 reasons why your car ends up on my truck. It's either you broke your shit and asked me to tow it, you broke the law and the police arrested you and they need me to take it away.
Or somebody
Or
gave you $5,000 and asked you to steal it.
No, I would take your $5,000 and then notify the proper authorities. Be like, yeah, this guy tried to bribe me. It's like, yeah,
so
he
you-
took my $5,000. Like,
that's,
I
I mean,
don't know what
that's,
the
that's
fuck
a
about.
win-win. I mean, you got your $5,000 and you've kept your morals.
Sounds like a win-win to me.
I mean, click
Yeah.
$5,000. I would do that.
I've killed people for less.
Oh, God.
Okay, maybe for another podcast session.
Nah, but they, so the truck I drive, like, with a regular driver's license and just not being a fuck-up, you can drive my truck.
Right,
So was it
Dean,
under
you can.
7.5 ton?
I'm allowed to weigh 26,000 pounds.
Was we used ton? What's that? in
Yeah,
Uh,
metric, you know.
I don't know what that is. In,
So
like, I don't know how
tonnage-
you're
ton?
metric.
I'll find that.
Yeah.
out. I'll find
So 1 ton is 2,000 pounds.
So I can pick up a.
Exactly.
So I'm allowed to pick up a 1-ton pickup truck with my truck.
Okay.
Alright, I mean, here you can't drive that on a normal driver's license. You need a CPC and a HGV license because you need like a license that classes over 7.5 ton. But
So if
obviously-
I come to Scotland and I import, say, my
You-
like a Ford
you-
F350, which is considered a 1 ton.
Oh yeah, you can drive that on a normal driver's license, but if you get anything over 7.5 ton, even with your license in the US, you probably can't drive that here.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. See, yeah,
'Cause you,
in the
like-
U.S. you can weigh. Yeah, I think MF just said that it's 26,000 pounds, right, on a regular license.
I think I 26,000 MF. Yeah.
So that's like,
Yeah. 26,00 LB.
so yeah, that's 13 tons.
Oh my God, that was right. I mean, it's not very hard to work out.
Yeah, you just
Yeah, like
take the number, divide by 2.
our standard license here is like I think it's got a class B or something. It only goes
think
up
so.
to 7.5 ton. Anything over 7.5 ton, you need to set a different license for. I think
Right.
it's either a B1 or a class C,
So
something like that.
here in the U.S., you need a class. So anything over 26,000 pounds, if it's a straight truck, you need a class B. But if it's a combination vehicle, such as like what I drive, which is the semi truck with a trailer, then you need like you need a class A. But if it's
So
like a
what-
straight truck, you only need a class B.
What if I came over with my UK license? What would I be allowed to drive?
Anything under 26,000. So
So I
that
could
would
drive a
be
truck
yeah.
in the
So
US,
that
basically.
So that would be like a what, a 26-footer U-Haul truck, MF?
America,
Pretty much.
be ready, be
Ah.
prepared. Knowing how he drives.
Oh yeah, I'm
Like-
gonna be on the fucking highway
Basically-
Yeah.
sideswiping motherfuckers with my trailer.
You will.
So you'll basically fit right in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I will. I'll be sitting there with a fucking hat on, and I'll see some motherfucker trying to overtake me in my mirror, and I'll be like, nah, I ain't having that shit. Boom, swing the
Yeah.
trailer out and fucking throw them over the fucking barrier.
To be
Didn't,
fair, I would expect
had
Murph to
somebody-
be driving on the wrong side of the road.
Yeah, I probably would for like the first few days.
Aye, that'll be a big thing. Dean, didn't you once like nearly like tipped the van or something like that?
Almost, but that's because I tried
Aye.
to take a corner. You can take that corner at 60 in a car, but I tried to take it at
Ah.
70 in a van. So yeah, like
And you're
Well, let's
talking
not
about
forget-
KMH?
no miles. We
Miles.
use miles.
Yeah.
Let's not forget,
Nice.
Dean's car is like small. So it's like easier
Oh.
to turn with, I would
Bitch,
say.
don't fucking talk about my car.
Well,
Well,
It's
so
a good
the
car.
length of
Very
the
good
length
car.
of the vehicle versus the height of the vehicle is usually the issue.
Yeah, that was the issue because like with my van, it's like when it's full of parcels, the center of gravity of the van is really low because there's so much weight like holding it down. But the more parcels I deliver, the lighter the van gets, obviously, and the higher the center of gravity rises. So I was like at the end of my route, and I tried to take
Eventually-
the corner too fast, and it almost tipped. Like I had to, instead of a hard left, I was going to do a hard left, but I had to kind of slam the brakes and go a hard right to avoid the tip.
Yeah. Which makes sense.
You always got to avoid the tip.
Oh, you have to. You have to. I mean, tips hurt. Tips hurt if you're not used to them.
I would. I'm not even.
We just-
Just silence.
well, if you're still tuned in, like,
Being the only girl here, I'm not even gonna like say anything, I'll just.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
hey,
expose myself.
excuse me,
Awkward
I'm sorry. Thank you for
silence.
gender classifying me.
Yeah, definitely. Like,
Yeah,
come on,
bitch.
Victoria, that's fucking
I know you've got
completely wrong.
big tits, right?
Gender
You still got a
classify.
dick
Oh,
down
hold
there.
on a minute. That's just rude now.
Yeah, like, I'm sorry, I'm an
You're
A cup
body-shaming
at
them
best,
and gender classifying them.
Makeup.
right?
I'm sorry.
Oh,
Gender
my
classify
God, what the-
as my bitch.
So is gender classifying the same as misgendering, or is that just some made up bullshit?
Oh, bro, they're all made up bullshit.
Yeah.
That's
Okay,
gonna make
we
some
had
people
I had
mad.
I had a
Yes.
police officer try to tell me that somebody had like recently transitioned or something, and like after they had been in a traffic accident and then left with their keys, and I'm like, I don't give a fuck what bathroom they go to. They left without leaving me their fucking keys.
Yeah, so like, when it doesn't matter who they are, they've caused you an inconvenience.
Well, because when their front wheels were turned sideways, and it's like, so basically I drive a flatbed.
You
so,
can't tow a truck, can you? If it's the wheels are
I
sideways,
can.
you'll break the wheels.
Oh, I can because I have skates. The problem is that it takes me more effort and thought and sometimes I don't want to. Sometimes I don't want to think about the shit. I just want to pull the motherfucker up to bed and just tie the bitch down and go.
Oh.
I mean, I've been in a situation where you just want to tie the bitch down. But you
Right?
can't
Pretty
always.
much.
Kinky.
I don't want cars thinking that they can have an opinion that I'm going to listen to.
Yeah, I get you. I do. I really do. But my driving instructor
mean-
genuinely taught me to park my wheels sideways so that a truck can't tow me. Because half the time they just can't be
Oh.
asked.
Well, I mean, the thing is, though, I work for a company where I don't have that option. It's
Oh,
like,
yeah,
hey,
you
listen,
gotta do
you
that.
will figure out how to get that car off the ground. Because,
Yeah,
like,
so
I'm
yours
not
are-
towing. Well, because I'm not. So, in the state that I live in, there's laws that say the only way I can tow your car is if either you are there asking me to do it, or if someone is signing a piece of paper demanding that I do it. So, I can't just show up to an apartment complex, even if you're in front of the fire hydrant. I can't just decide, oh, hey, that needs to go, and then take it. Other
Yeah.
states, I guess they kind of can, but our legislators here are kind of trashed. Because, like, basically they're implementing gun control in this state, so I'm actually, I'll talk about my exodus from where I'm at, be more specific about it once I've actually escaped, so that these people don't try to set me up to have a sunroof installed in my fucking
Right.
forehead.
Right. I've got a question. You know how you said either a person has to say it or you have to have a signed piece of paper? Can
Yes.
anybody, just sign it? Or
Sign
does
the
it
piece
have
of
to
paper.
Obviously,
Yeah.
no.
It has to be specific people. So
be... Oh.
I'm
Is it-
gonna guess from the high school sound of your voice that you're not a police officer of any kind.
Yeah,
Of
she
course
definitely
not.
So-
is not.
So the other option is, do you own a property?
I think
I
Wiki
live
has
with my parents.
She doesn't. She
Oh,
doesn't.
she
Okay.
doesn't have a car?
So
Oh,
okay,
no, I
no,
don't
I
have a
mean
car.
no, like
Doesn't
the
own it.
address. Like, okay,
No, I don't
Are
own
you-
property.
the other question is, are you the manager of that property?
No.
You have to either own the property or be a manager of that property.
So, like, if it was parked on, say, a private road where somebody owns that land and somebody is illegally parked there and they sign it, you can then pick it up?
Yes.
Right.
Makes sense.
But you can't go to like the grocery store and see a car in front of the the fire hydrant and call the tow truck if you don't even work at that grocery store. The most you could do is you could call the fire marshal and say, hey, there's a car parked in front of the fire hydrant and the store hasn't noticed and hasn't done anything about it. And they'll
Alright.
do one of two things. They'll either send the police out there to deal with it and write somebody tickets, or they'll tell you, like, hey, did you tell the store? Do you know how to ask for a manager and tell them there's a problem outside in their parking lot? Because believe it or not, especially with fire lanes and fire hydrants, and there's a shop that I've delivered to where the owner has parked his personal vehicle in the fire lane in front of his shop. Both as the owner of his vehicle, he can get a ticket for being parked there, and as the owner of that business. So he could actually come away with like at least 2 tickets, even if he doesn't get his car impounded. Because if he's right there with his keys and he doesn't have any disqualifying conditions, like if he smells like alcohol, they're not going to let him drive his truck. They'll just impound it. Be like,
Yeah.
yep, it was illegal. It was illegally parked, and you didn't have anybody here that could drive for you.
All right, MF, I
Like,
got a
oh,
question for you.
shit. I may have an answer.
Okay, so in Colorado, when I was driving tow truck, we had a policy that stated if the owner of the vehicle's tags were expired, we could not drop that at their residence. It had to go to our impound yard.
So in my state, tab enforcement is not our problem.
Okay.
But let's say, so here's something I do that is kind of vindictive, not that it actually has any real effect that I've been told. Let's say you leave a car on someone's property and the tabs expired 3 fucking years ago. I will take pictures of your tabs. So if you come into my office after I've taken your car, and you're shitting yourself all over our fucking office about, you know, like, oh, I can't believe it. There's no reason you towed my car. Well, this vehicle that hasn't had valid registration for 3 goddamn years, that was left on a property that didn't want it on there, says otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, like, here,
There's other
like,
there's other things too, and like I don't make the decision to impound or not to impound, but like we had the police on a military installation impound a vehicle, and I had somebody throw a fit about that because like, so to park on that base, you either have to be on the base roster, i.e. stationed there and listed as living there, not just, you know, not just be a military member. So like if you're National Guard and you're stationed at one of the armories outside of the base, you don't get to just park your vehicle on the base because you felt like it. And your vehicle has to, like, if it appears not operational, and this is where this particular case, he had a car battery between his gas pedal and his driver's seat.
what?
Usually, to even the most simple-minded motherfucker involved, that looks to the average person like your shit don't drive.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, definitely.
so, and he tried to say there was nothing wrong with his vehicle, but then when he finally got it out of impound, it's like, oh, by the way, I need you to tow this to my house. Like,
Why? Because
Yeah,
of this, right?
you're fucking brilliant, sir.
You're a special kind of stupid there, bud.
Well, he also, and he actually has first place for the stupidest fucking thing ever said to me in my tow yard, or in my office. I just want to know who gave a civilian tow company permission to go onto a military installation and take my vehicle.
Oh, probably the military. I don't know.
Well, I do know,
very
like,
specific people, like a set of people, gave my company permission. Well, it's not permission. So permission, and I explained this in a TikTok video or something.
by the way, go
Permission is
subscribe to
I
MF's
wanted-
TikTok. Give you a little shameless plug.
Oh wait, what's his
Yeah.
name? What's his name?
What is it?
Yeah,
What
what's
is
your
it?
name? What's your
Almost
TikTok?
8003. So the but yeah, there's a set of people though that allow me to do that. But also permission is I wanted to do something and someone had to let me. What I had was orders, meaning, oh my fucking god, this fucking homeless retarded motherfucker walked 50 feet down the road away from a crosswalk that would have got him across a busy road just so he could cross without using the crosswalk. And there was a fucking crosswalk right goddamn there, like literally on the opposite side of my goddamn truck. But no, what I had was orders. What I had was, you're going to take this goddamn car. Because it better not stay here, is what I had. So that was a whole other thing. But no, the post commander, the garrison sergeant major, and the provost marshal gave me permission to be a contractor on that base. And the provost marshal and the garrison sergeant major gave orders to a group of people to find, identify, and have removed a certain number of vehicles a month because they're unsightly and taking up parking spaces that valid human beings, i.e. soldiers stationed at that base, could use for actual, like, parking there. Because if you have 100 parking spaces and you have 75 people that need to park in that parking lot, but you have 40 cars there that don't belong, the other, you're not going to be able to fit all 75 of your actual people that belong there in that parking lot. So then you're going to have problems. Then you're going to have people parking in fucked up spots that they shouldn't be parking, which then causes congestion and delays and a lot of commissioned officers in the military don't like disarray and bullshit.
A lot of them don't care if it's them slowing everything down, but when you slow them down, they get pissed.
Oh yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah,
Or let's say you're a platoon leader and you're finding out every fucking day that your soldiers are having a hard time getting back to work because they can't seem to park their car near the building. Now you've got a problem. because your people are being interfered with by something that's not you.
Yeah, we need a guy like you down at my Amazon yard, man. The amount of people that park in the wrong fucking bays, even though we have assigned bays.
Can I just say, man is more active on TikTok than I am with posting. Jesus Christ.
What happened?
You're more active than Wiki is on TikTok.
I mean, I'm just bored and half retarded, so like I kind of just
the
throw shit out
presence
there.
of the hidden crypt there, but. By the way, I know our podcast is known as the Hidden Crypt. That is a Norse kind of play on words. We are not associated with Crypts or Bloods at any time. Just got to throw that disclaimer out there.
Well,
Even
just
though
make
I'm
sure
wearing
that-
blue,
that-
that's not me do it.
Well,
I
if
just
you
had a
if you
good idea.
pronounce the word crypt correctly with a T at the end of it,
Yeah, you'll understand. It's completely different.
Yeah.
yeah, there's a difference between a place underground and a guy in a blue shirt being shot.
Thank God I've not been shot yet.
I've been threatened with death.
Right.
In fact, my first viral video on TikTok, I received more death threats on that shit than I did anything else.
Well, that's
But to
because
be
you're.
fair, I did talk about kicking over motorcycles.
Oh my god.
So the post was, what I said was, if you have a really nice motorcycle and I kick that shit over and I look you straight in the face, the fight's already over. Like, I've already rigged the fight, so it's over for you, not me. And I had a whole bunch of people getting on there like, man, you got a death wish. There's no such thing as a rigged fight, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like if you ever watch that scene from Black Lagoon, I think it is, where that little psychopath with the axe tries to go after that Russian woman, and their fucking arm suddenly gets blown off, and their leg gets blown off, and then she just casually walks over and shoots him in the face. That's a rigged fight.
Yeah.
So that's basically, and that's, I eventually found that footage in a way that I could upload it in a TikTok video, where I then stitched myself threatening to kick motorcycles over. But the joke, though, is for anybody who knows me, I actually respect motorcycles more than I respect people. So, if anything, I'm not doing shit to your motorcycle. I will patiently wait for you to come off that motorcycle, lock your handlebars, and put your kickstand down properly, and come away from your bike so that you don't fucking bleed on your bike, and then fuck your ass up. And then maybe go lean on your bike when you're like laying there with the lights leading out of you.
I'm not gonna lie. If that was me, I would put my balls on the bike.
It makes me up. Oh my god.
Okay, Murph, I will tell you, as somebody who actually owns a very nice motorcycle, if I came out of the bar and saw you dragging your nuts across my bike, I'm not even going to touch you. I am going to shoot you in your testicles and then repair whatever damage is done to my bike.
That just reminds me of Step Brothers.
That's
gonna
what it was
drag my-
supposed to remind you.
I'm going to drag
Yeah.
my
Did you
nuts
put your
across
nuts
this.
on my
Thank you.
drum set? I didn't touch your drum set.
It's like, I didn't touch the drum set yet, but I'm going to.
And then you see him rub his fucking balls out of his drum set, man. Lick the white dog shit down.
Oh, I love that movie.
Oh, I think I'm going to watch that when we're done here, man.
I think I'm gonna watch it. See, whilst we're
I
on the
can't
topic
steer
of
it because I
cars,
don't have keys.
for anyone listening,
This
Wait,
was
hold
a
up,
stolen
hold up,
recovery.
hold up. MF's got some shit going down on his end.
What's
It's
up, man?
basically,
You
this
from?
is the only place I can put it without fucking something up. And then does that open for the rest of the day?
can we? Yeah.
So you can't let me out?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I want to hear this.
Okay,
I want to hear
I
this.
can make it out of here. It'll just take me like, a brain cell that I don't have.
You just take everything he says and take it out of context.
It'll take my last functioning brain cell. Do you really want to do that to a guy?
Hey, I'm in brain
He said it's one he doesn't. He said it's one he doesn't have.
Yeah.
Yeah, true, actually.
Did I forget to hit the button that lets me fucking run the PTO?
Do you have one of those fancy remotes for your truck, or do you have to get out and actually
Hell no.
jiggle the joysticks?
Hell no. He's like, I need to get out and play with those motherfuckers.
Well,
He's not.
yeah.
For
All
anyone who
the
wants to be
remote is
funny.
to me is an accountable item that I have to keep track of, and someone will bitch at me to replace it. I mean, I put my 2 weeks in today, and people shat themselves. So
I
I'm
mean,
sure they'll find a way to get mad at me.
After the way they've been fucking treating you, I'm surprised. Like,
Yeah. Well, only like 1.5 of them have actually treated me bad. The rest of them either don't know shit about me, or the one person that actually deals with me the most, they remind that person over and over again that they don't have any management authority, even though it's like they have a lot more management skill, because she's able to talk to a person like me, and like if I'm fucking up or not doing something I'm not supposed to be doing or whatever it is, like they're able to put the emphasis on, hey, listen, this is the right thing to do, but you're not doing it, so that's not okay. Not, I told you, you're not listening to me, you disobeyed me. It's like, shut the fuck up.
Murph, how's that fag there, bud?
Yeah, I mean, it was good until I seen something there on his TikTok. I'm not going to bring it up because we ain't getting into politics.
Let's try and keep politics out of this for at least the first couple episodes.
Yeah, I'll leave it for now.
Well, for anybody who cares, I'm independent and partyless.
Clearly not.
Oh, people get confused all the time.
Nah,
With
there's
me.
no confusion over that. Absolutely no confusion there.
Yeah.
All
Well,
right,
to be fair, 90% of my political opinions start with the words, "The government should butt the fuck out of it."
All right. So everybody's had pretty much a really long chance to talk. Tia, it's your turn.
Dial-up
been-
noises.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you've been so quiet over that.
I've been making comments.
The occasional comment.
I
Come on, let the internet hear your sexy voice for a little bit. I mean, there's-
meow.
They're something.
I have absolutely no idea what to talk about.
Just whatever the hell comes to your head.
Yeah, the first thing that comes to your mind. We've still got like another 20 to 30 minutes, so.
Crap.
First thing that pops in your head, go.
Go, now,
Now.
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 Should have already
No pressure.
happened.
Yeah, no pressure. No pressure or anything.
Oh boy. Okay. Let's see.
All of one person subscribed to this channel is ready to listen. And I'm the only one subscribed to this channel right
You're
now.
really going to leave that one person waiting?
I'm gonna need a script for this. Shit, I don't know what to talk about because I'm one of those people where I don't like to talk too much because the first things that pop into my head tend to be emotionally or sensitively charged topics.
Right.
Oh yeah, I don't care about that shit. I don't know about you, but I don't care about that shit. It just comes out of me. I can't help it.
I do know Tialdo's kink history, so I mean I could start with that.
Oh, okay, let's get into some big histories here.
No.
Anything but that.
I will put the caveat out there of You're also into that shit, so if you start telling people, you're telling yourself too.
Oh yeah, he's fucked you now.
I did find out something about myself that I am not happy about.
Oh.
Yeah, so I used to absolutely hate the daddy kink. I don't know if y'all know what I'm talking about, where a girl calls somebody daddy.
Yeah,
or...
I used to
know.
hate that until I got called it. I kind of like it.
It took one person to say it the right way.
Yeah, it all depends how it's said.
I'm like, now, whenever this said person calls me daddy, I'm like, I don't know why, but that is like
Be
majorly turning me on right now.
Be honest,
it
it's not,
does.
isn't it?
Sometimes it's the
It's not.
context.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm the
it's
one who
just
calls Murph daddy, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, do you know what the funny thing is?
Sometimes. We share roles. We share roles.
Right.
We believe in equality in this
Yeah,
relationship. Okay, so
true.
we share roles. We take turns.
Mm-hmm.
Some weekends he's the daddy. Other weekends I'm the daddy.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
That's how it is.
I'll bottom for Murph any day.
I knew there were some weird kinks around, but like, there's some that I've like seen / found.
I mean,
and
we're
I'm
not
like,
here to kink shame, so don't nobody listening
Yeah,
to this
I'm
think
not-
we're
I'm
kink
not
shaming.
kink
We're not.
shaming.
No, we're not by any means.
Wait a
kink
minute,
shaming.
I have a
Oh.
question. Hold on. So how old is the smallest sounding person here?
18.
Victoria, 18.
18.
All right, so you just legally learned what all this shit was.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
She's basically just grew pubes.
Yeah, she-
Came of age to legally be allowed to admit she knows it.
Yes, exactly.
Well, to participate in the conversation and not have people start, screaming, "Hey, there's a minor in the room."
Yeah,
I'm not a minor.
she's just
Don't
at that
worry.
age, thankfully.
just as okay, another disclaimer. I think
to
this would
18 and 4 months over here, you know.
nobody on this podcast will be under the age of 18. Just let that disclaimer be out there because I don't need no
Christ.
backlash from
Oh,
people.
God,
Oh well,
no.
he had.
I
he
mean,
had
so
this
I know
minor
that.
and, you know.
So I know
Shut
that
up, Karen.
some people who are gonna scroll through my TikTok are gonna decide to just not fucking like me. So I'm gonna hand you guys an extra reason to not like me. So age is actually a category that I will never stop discriminating in.
I will let y'all know now. Murph, not Murph. Shit. Sorry, Murph.
I was gonna say, wait, what?
MF.
Sorry, force a habit.
MF
Honestly, I felt very targeted there.
MF is just for our listeners. MF is very strongly opinionated, but he's got a very good character, and that's why I love him to death. Is because he's not unlike most Americans. MF is like me. He's not afraid to speak his mind on how he feels. Now, I'll remind you guys that if you're listening to MF, everything's an opinion. It's nothing set in fact. So if you're going to go and scroll in the comments, talking your little troll stuff, I will personally sit on there and either troll your ass on the next podcast and make sure the the one person that watches this Discord, or not Discord, goddammit, podcast,
Podcast.
but
Why, yes, this is being recorded in Discord.
Well,
Can I
ain't
just say
nobody
this?
gonna watch this podcast now because
Right.
they're gonna be looking for a Discord. Well done, mate.
Can I just say this, right? My favourite saying ever by my beloved Fry is opinions
the
are
Fry.
like castles.
Everybody has
got
one.
Everybody has one.
and everyone has one that's covered up and smells like shit.
Yep. Right.
The only
Well,
thing
thanks.
that varies between
do-
it is how bad it smells.
Yep.
I do say some factual shit that like you can actually look it up and find out. And honestly, if I say something that I read somewhere but then they disproved it later on, it is totally okay to change your mind as long as, I think the only time I've heard anybody say that they don't like a person changing their mind is when they're simply changing their mind because like they're going where the votes are or they're going where the money is.
Yeah.
In terms of things like either the gun industry or like how.
Well, I can give
So,
you a perfectly good
I know we're trying
example.
to-
Do y'all remember the Chris? Or no, it was what was the kid's name up in Wisconsin? MF. Do you remember? It was Kyle.
Oh, Rittenhouse.
Yeah, Kyle Rittenhouse. There was so much misinformation and. Oh,
Can you
what-
just like tell me and team what's going on? Cause like I don't think we're
Okay, so
Okay,
sure
so
what's going on. You know.
I love telling this story. Can I tell it for you?
yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so a little over a year ago, when riots were a totally okay thing to do because no one was stopping you,
Right.
there was protests about a man named George Floyd who
Yes,
had
I know
died
that.
because he was
wonder
mishandled
who
by
that
the
yeah,
is.
police.
yeah, we know
Okay.
that.
Kyle Rittenhouse was
A hero. Let me say this: Kyle Rittenhouse was a bloody fucking
kinda.
hero.
Kinda. So, and I'll get to that. Kyle Rittenhouse, at the time, was 17, and he took a first aid kit and a rifle with one magazine to the protest because he knew that people were going to be bumping into each other and doing stupid shit. So he was basically there to play Band-Aid boy and help people who got scratched up being stupid. Well, at some point, he angered what turned out to be a convicted pedophile
Oh,
who ran at him and tried to grab his weapon and kill him after stating very loudly in front of witnesses that when he gets him alone, I'm gonna kill you. Well, he tried and that didn't work out too well for him because he caught a few rounds. The crowd, being very much a terror crowd, saw their beloved pedophile eat the fucking dirt and started inciting the crowd to go after Kyle. Kyle runs for his fucking life because that's what you do when you become the target of what is basically
Oh
an
yeah,
angry mob.
100%.
Yeah.
Just about. Well, so he's running down the street, trying to get to the police lines, and he trips. He starts getting beat on. One person who bashed him in the head with a skateboard, the wheel end of a skateboard, mind you, and tried to grab his gun. He caught one right in his heart. That's why he basically slumped the fuck over and pretty much died between, oh shit, and actually hitting the ground.
Yep.
He turned out to be a convicted batterer, I believe. And then a third person who later turned out to have been a convicted felon with a handgun that he's not supposed to have.
Oh yeah, he got a spicy bicep.
Yes. He tried to play the fake surrender while running toward Kyle, and then points his gun at Kyle's face and was like less than a second from shooting Kyle. Kyle shoots him and hits him in the bicep, rendering his arm for the most part unusable. Although it turns out the DUI he got between getting shot and testifying in trial as the victim of an active shooter, it turns out he got his function back, which I feel is very unfortunate because fuck that guy.
Maybe he should have lost
that's an
function in both
opinion.
arms.
Or his face, but I'll get to that because I know some of you who are like not in the United States don't have the same self-defense laws that we have.
Oh,
And-
we
and
don't,
there's a
but
good-
I can agree with what happened.
Yeah. Well, so there's a good bit though that goes
When you
into
step into a new day,
what constitutes self-defense versus what constitutes going too goddamn far. Now,
For those
a
hold
mob
on,
of
hold
a
on.
whole bunch of people. Yes.
Hold on, MF. So I gotta apologize to anybody who is listening to this podcast. I just accidentally opened up a YouTube video, so if you heard just a random YouTube commercial playing, that is entirely... I'm sorry. Now, please continue.
So,
After
What?
you finish, I've got something to add regarding a different country that doesn't use firearms.
right. So, basically, instead of, because they had a lot of footage that showed it was clear-cut self-defense, and a whole bunch of people who actually are valid, like, students of self-defense and stuff like that in different places, including people who looked into the laws of that location. It was self-defense. Well, the prosecutor in that state, being a little shit who decided he wanted to make a name for himself and try to use Kyle as an example, tried to tried to charge Rittenhouse with like 6 crimes.
5. It was 5.
Well, they dropped one right before the trial even started because they're like, fuck that.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's
Then
right.
Then they dropped another one. Then they found him not guilty of everything else. Or maybe it started out as 5. I know that they dropped something before the trial even commenced. I know that they dismissed something like halfway through the trial because the judge said fuck that.
Which, kudos to the judge. He handled that extremely well. He handled it from a non-biased standpoint. That, you know, Kyle Rittenhouse, even his legal aid was... I mean, his legal aid was decent, but he wasn't the best that he should have.
I think what he counted on more, his defense, was... I think they counted more on the prosecution just being absolute garbage and the judge seeing through it, that he just kind of kept his mouth shut. And, but no, basically, for like a year or so, the Rittenhouse and the Rittenhouse trial thing was a huge issue. Like, I got kicked out of a musician's Discord over it because they kept referring to those 3 people as murdered people. Like, first of all, only 2 of them died. And second of all, stop referring to them as murdered people because they were participants in
the riot, yeah.
They were the one, basically. So that thing I was saying about self-defense and stuff like that. So there was, remember how one of you pointed out there was a bunch of people in that fucking crowd? If a guy with a rifle wanted to mow down the crowd, for one, he would not have brought only the one magazine that he had. Like,
yeah, you would have brought a shit ton.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I'm wearing a concealed handgun right now, and I'm sure that's probably fucking risky to say depending on who listens to this. But I'm wearing a concealed handgun right now, and I have 2 reloads. I've had people try to tell me that, oh, well, you just want, 17 times 2 additional chances to fucking, shoot people. Like, actually, I want to be able to clear stoppages. So, fuck you. Because anybody who, gets caught... Yes.
Somebody comes at you, right? I mean, you got somebody that's pumped up, full of drugs. 1 bullet might not take them down.
That too.
You might need multiple rounds to take them fucking down.
1 in the head, 2 in the chest, rest in the hips, depending on what they're on.
I mean,
there's an instructor who actually said that like the first shot, a good place to shoot somebody is the crotch, because they could be wearing body armor. Because you can get like cheap body armor that'll defeat almost every handgun you own.
Not if you're getting it from Wish. That shit might literally just be little tins of paper.
Yeah.
It's probably like you
Alex,
fucking self-weave together.
From like eBay or something, not Wish.
Oh, Wish, yeah, Wish body armor is just a joke.
It
It's
might
for
stop a
airsofters.
toothpick.
I mean, at least it might stop a toothpick. Well, that next time I'm going to a restaurant and I'm probably going to upset a girl.
So he's gonna throw 2 picks at you. Did it stop those? I guess.
If it doesn't,
but
I'll leave a badass review on Wish. Like, it didn't even stop a toothpick. I took 10 toothpicks in the chest.
Don't worry, my bullets will heal you for negative damage.
God.
Unless it's
But
totally
the,
accurate battlegrounds, in which case they might actually heal you.
But basically, the general idea though is when you look at how many times Kyle actually shot versus how many people chased him versus how many times he could have shot, he only shot people who directly were a threat to his physical safety.
Yeah, the guy from, well, I don't know the full story, but from what I'm hearing, the guy genuinely only responded in self-defense. He only responded when there was a genuine threat to his life.
And that's where I was trying to say that that's where controversy comes into, and a lot of people, they read so much information because through the channels, one person could say something and it gets to the 11th person and the story's completely changed.
Yeah, I mean, I'm completely unbiased here.
Like
I've never
Chinese
read the
whispers,
story.
basically.
Never heard the story before. This is my first time hearing the story. I'm hearing what happened. And
Yeah.
in my mind, I can make a decision that, considering he only fired on the people that were trying to harm him, the guy only fired in self-defense.
I don't even
Yep.
think he was carrying one in the chamber, because the video I watched, you can see him while he's running away. He is priming the handle. So he didn't have any real intentions of harming anybody. It was just straight defense.
All I can say
Right.
is I'm happy I live in a country where I don't have to worry about like getting harmed.
Oh no,
And,
you
like-
do. You do.
Well,
Because our law states that you can only use reasonable force in self-defense, which
right, but
speaking of that, like there was a guy here, and it was like an 80-year-old man. His house was broken into by a thief, and he stabbed the thief with a screwdriver.
mhm.
The thief later died, and the old man was charged because of that, even though the old man
Yeah.
was only defending himself and his property.
Which I think is
but
bullshit. He should not have
According
like
to our
gotten
laws,
anything done.
you
to
can
him.
only defend yourself with reasonable force. But in my
Like, what
opinion,
does-
if someone's trying to kill you, reasonable force at that point is to kill them.
Aye, like that's the thing. Like, what is
But-
reasonable force? There's no set
Yeah,
definition
no,
for that.
exactly. Like even if
So-
someone's trying to kill you and you kill them, you're probably gonna get done with murder. Even though
Right.
reasonable force when they're trying to kill you is to kill them, because that's the only way to stop them.
Right. So what if someone like runs up to me, stabs me? What is reasonable force then?
There's no reasonable force because you're on the ground bleeding it.
Well, you get what I mean, but like,
And I'm
So
sorry, if
assuming-
you...
okay, so
Hey,
assuming
Hold up.
So the guy who teaches people,
What do you say?
the
Hold
guy
on.
who teaches people how to like minimize how stabbed they get, you don't have to wait for them to stab you to defend yourself. So
yeah, no,
here
you
in
don't.
America,
As soon
let's
as you
say
see
you're
a
armed,
knife, you
like,
can
with a-
defend yourself.
yeah.
with a gun.
What were you saying, Tia? You were about to say something.
So assuming you saw it before it happened,
Right.
You
you
react.
would try to prevent them from getting the stab on you, and then
Yeah, 100%.
I don't know if we're going for appropriate use of force. Well, considering that they just tried stabbing you, go for the throat.
Yeah, I mean,
Right,
all...
one
it-
thing-
No,
Deadly
yeah.
force.
No, yeah.
One thing to
Yeah,
know about here, right, is as much as we don't have guns here, we do have a problem with knives. I would say.
Yeah, like
Aye.
I trained in Taekwondo for about 9 years, and we were taught many moves that can kill someone in one hit, but you cannot legally use them. 9 times out of 10, you can't even use them to save your own life because of the laws here.
Mhm.
And that's one thing I found funny. Now, this is an actual proper statistic. So anybody listening to this, like, you can quote me on this because this is a statistic. The crimes in the UK
Oh God, here we go.
are...
They're a lot lower.
No, they're actually a lot higher.
No, no.
Then-
Technically, when you talk in proportion, they're
Well,
lower.
aye.
Oh, I'm not
They're
talking.
lower in
I'm talking about.
proportion.
I'm talking about violent crimes in general, not guns, knives. I'm talking
no,
crimes
yeah.
in general.
There
The
is a lot
crime
more violence.
statistic, yeah, there's a lot more violent crimes over in the UK than there is over here in the US.
Oh,
A lot of
Here's-
them come from
here's-
Scotland, and
here's one
mainly
thing.
from Glasgow.
so see, the police say it that cars, like car theft and all that shit, is a national sport in Scotland.
Yeah, like, genuinely, the police
It genuinely
do not feel,
is.
like here. The police do not feel safe doing their job because
Mhm.
most police officers are probably going to get stabbed to death before
Well,
they finish their
Here's the
term,
thing: you
and
have
they
some
have no
random,
means of defense.
you have some random fucking junkie, and junkies sometimes really surprise you with the power they hold for the state
Because
they are
they're pumped
fucking
up on
in.
drugs.
They are like, you will never see anyone more just drugged out of their life, but they can somehow take down the fucking Hulk when they're so drugged up. Like, no joke.
No, no, yeah, that's what I'm
No.
saying. That's why I said earlier, like, you might get these guys that one bullet won't take them down. That's a similar kind of situation.
Like, we always laugh, like, I know me and Dean have laughed about this with the whole, like, you know how there's a war in Ukraine. we were talking with someone from Sweden, right? And she was saying how Russia, is wanting to maybe attack Sweden, whatever. And we're like, don't worry, we'll send all the junkies. We'll send them to the front lines. You guys will be fine. Like, no joke, they're just...
Hey, you're
I
solving two
definitely
problems with
recommend-
one stone. You're getting rid of the homeless numbers, and the Ukraine are getting methed up fighters
exactly.
to help fight their war.
Exactly.
They
I mean, we
really
send them
are.
there. We don't have to deal with our junkie problem.
Like, you guys...
For all
would need
intents
to
and
come to
purposes, that was a
Scotland.
joke.
You guys would need to come to Scotland to actual witness, like, a junkie. It's an experience and
Yeah.
a half sometimes.
I mean,
have
you're
junkies.
forgetting that they live in America. They probably have worse junkies than ours.
Well,
I
They probably
actually
get guns
so,
on crystal meth creeping up to the windows.
but you get what I mean.
I've-
Dean, like,
I've
as in,
had
like, the way
people-
they act sometimes.
Hold up. You guys trying to say something?
Oh,
I'm going with.
so I live in an area that is pretty contaminated with meth and shit.
Same here.
Yeah.
Like I've had people that and part of the reason, so like where I live and where I work are absolutely different. Like I've fucking forgot to lock my door once or twice in like the almost 2 years that I've lived there, and surprisingly, no one has thought to try the doorknob and go in. But like where I work, my personal vehicle's been broken into and had a bunch of shit stolen out of it, including the radio and a bunch of tools
Oh god.
and
You
some
know-
clothing I had left in there.
That's funny. Like I can relate to that in the opposite way. Like at my home, I can leave my car unlocked,
Aye.
but at work, opposite way as in at home. If I was to leave my car unlocked, it would be stolen. But at work, I literally get out
Well-
of my van, leave the keys in the van in the ignition, open the side door and deliver my parcel with the keys in the ignition in the van with the van still running. And nobody gets in it. Nobody even steals a parcel.
That
Whereas if I'd done that here, like, parcels would be stole, the whole van would be stole.
that
Like, that's the
confirms
thing,
right
like-
there. Nobody messes with Amazon because Amazon has ties to the mafia.
Nah, it's not even.
Nah,
It's like Jeff Bezos will bake your ass.
Like, no joke. Like, see, me and Dean grew up 15 minutes, like, distance, like, from each other. And it's two separate worlds. Like, no joke.
yeah,
Two
she-
separate worlds.
Yeah, she's a posh bitch.
Apparently, I'm posh.
She doesn't
Apparently.
understand hardships. She does
Well,
not
you're-
know what
you're-
hardships are.
I mean, your parents' house and your street and your atmosphere might be posh, but that doesn't make you posh.
No, it does. It makes her posh. She is posh, believe me.
Apparently, I'm posh because of where I live.
Yeah,
She's the
she does not really understand like what Glasgow is about.
she's
She's
innocent.
not even
She's
yeah,
she's
she is.
innocent.
Yeah, she is. She is.
Oh, she
Throw
only
wax over that
just.
was she is.
I mean, she only just leveled up to the level of a human being like 4 months ago, so it's okay.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and even till
There's
then, she's
there's
never had anyone try to stab her. The first time I ever had someone trying to stab me, I was like 12.
Never had
Yeah,
anyone
Wiki
try
no
to
longer
come
has to
around.
lie on the porn channels. She can actually say that
Of
she is
course, I know,
18 now.
Finally. You know, Pornhub banned that. Like,
Right,
in
hold
Russia,
on,
you can't watch Pornhub.
How are we getting any Pornhub here?
Because he mentioned, no.
Nah, but
I
you're
just
the
got
one
reminded.
that... No, you're the one that continued with Pornhub, right? Keep your sexual fantasies at bay.
We don't care about your
know-
your brother sister kink, alright?
I had to
oh, no,
I had to
no.
unfollow a blog
No.
on an adult website because there was references to children on somebody's
Oh
post.
god.
Oh fuck
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
Like,
you want to
and
be as far
so-
away from that shit as possible.
Yeah, so just in case nobody's caught on real quick, let me put this, I guess, for the channel of disclaimers here. What I'm describing, I do not approve of, and I will kill you for participating in it.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
Oh.
we do
like,
not
that's-
condone the
like, that
abuse
is-
of any children whatsoever.
See, in Scotland,
Yeah,
say
if
anybody
you're-
finds out you done anything like that,
Yeah.
you're dead. you're
yeah.
No,
dead.
the thing is, the
like-
police will try and protect you, but there was like a guy that was like from the scheme just a couple down from mine, stayed in a block of flats, and like in Scotland, if you're registered as a sex offender, you're on like
Mhm.
basically a big list, and you have like all your neighbours have to know that you're
Yeah.
a sex offender, and
We have a similar
everybody
thing
in
here.
that street was basically out to kill this guy, and the police had to come in and stop everybody in the street from killing this guy. So that, in my opinion, is a waste of police time and resources. He should just be thrown in the fucking river
Aye.
with bricks around his ankle.
We had 2 pedophiles. I live in a village with around 4,000 people, right? And there's 2 pedophiles that we found, and half the fucking village was after those 2 guys at their door, fucking knocking, trying to get them out the door, trying to kill them, like, no joke. Trying
Yeah,
to
well, they
fucking
didn't
kill
do
'em.
enough. Why were they knocking the door? You should have kicked the fucking door in.
Well, they tried to, but they barricaded it in.
Oh
the
yeah,
two
they're just
pedos-
weak then. Weak.
And
But
what's really bad is we
police
treat
came
them
in
that
time-
badly.
well, in time. I wish we never
Like
came, but
we treat them so badly, and their lives become so horrifyingly hard. But yet, for some reason, they still try it.
Nah,
See-
I mean that's one of the things I disagree with. See, with the justice system, like a lot of the times the justice system likes to believe in rehabilitation. See, people like that, they cannot be rehabilitated.
No,
They're
they
already
can't.
fucked up in the head.
Well,
Like honestly, the only way you could release these people is if you want to castrate them. Because if you castrate them, you take away that sexual need. Whereas if you just let them back
For their
out into
physical
the
ability to
world,
reoffend.
yeah, if you let them back out into the world, they're going to reoffend. Like 100%, they're going to do it again. There's not a question about it.
well,
They've
I
done it
mean,
before.
if you look
And
at,
there's a difference.
I was about to say, if you look at any psychological book, there is no downgrading. Like that, once someone's in that mindset and they actually commit said crime, they're gonna keep doing it. There is no,
yeah.
well, I did it once, I'm not gonna do it again. No, they do not.
Exactly.
They do not degrade that mindset. It's always
Yeah.
either gonna be what's the best or the worst way that I can get my kicks off.
That's why I'm
And
saying
they're
you have
always
to
going to look for
castrate
more and more and more and more.
I will say
Yeah.
this. If you know one thing about Glasgow, you know Barlenny, the Vicus, right? And sex offenders, pedophiles and all that, they have to be in a whole separate unit from the rest of the prison. They cannot have any jobs around the prison because the rest of the prisoners, if they
The
find
thing
out,
is, but as
they
much
will
as
kill
they,
him on sight,
no,
like no
it's no
joke.
that if
Yeah.
they find out by them being in a
I know,
separate
like
block,
they do know.
they wear separate jumpsuits. They know.
Aye, they
And
know.
most
Like if,
people in
but I mean, like
prison
if they
Our
see them,
fathers, brothers, they have their own
Mhm.
children, they have their own sisters.
they do.
Most of these sex offenders end up dead before they
They
can
do.
even leave prison.
They do. Like no
Yep.
joke.
And I
how
completely
it's
agree
meant to
with that. Like, I mean, it's vigilante justice at the end of the day, but I completely agree with it because the justice system would just put them back out there for it to happen again and bring them back in, which I
Well,
disagree with.
What I find sad is the statistic of 1 in 3. Just let that sink in. 1 in 3, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
1 in 3 women
So-
will get raped.
Oh, okay.
That's.
1 in 3.
I mean,
That's 33% of women.
will get raped or will be
Like
subject
sexual
to a
abuse.
sexual crime.
Technically speaking, it's
Okay.
33.3%.
No,
Right,
but
Mister.
so okay, so like
what,
okay, so I just wanted to say the way it's worded is so when you say 1 in 3 women will be subject to some kind of sexual abuse or rape.
Yeah, that's more
Absolutely.
believable. Yeah,
That-
but like rape
Well-
in particular, nah, because sexual abuse
yeah.
and rape and sexual assault is different. Like,
I love how
it is different.
I love how
They're
our
still wrong. They're still horrifying.
legally, in a court of law, rape constitutes penetration of the mouth, anus, or vaginal area. That's what rape constitutes. Anything out with that constitutes sexual assault.
I love how this entire
I know.
podcast like went from telling stories about getting high and getting drunk to
Trouble with your sergeants.
getting and then it's just degraded
Here's ways
to
to get yourself killed.
right. Oh,
So
man.
yeah, don't be a paedophile because you're gonna fucking die.
Essentially.
Oh, horribly.
Maybe
And
more
if you
people
don't
need
die,
to know
your
that
life
message.
is you'll either be killed or you'll wish you were dead.
Yeah,
who
No,
thinks
so the post. Okay,
who thinks we should
So-
reinstate the blood eagle ritual?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yes.
But
Wait, what?
with the blood eagle, see, instead of pulling the lungs out the back, we should break their ribs open with a blunt hatchet, and then take their testicles and rip them out the back rather than the lungs.
We call it the blood pigeon.
Yes, the blood pigeon. There we go. We're plagued with pigeons all over
Yeah,
the
'cause
place.
eagles-
We might as well.
because
Eagles are
eagles
majestic.
are something to be respected.
Yeah, they're majestic.
Pigeons are just
Eagles
like, yeah,
were-
whatever. I can
like,
either tie a piece of paper to its leg and have it fly a message, or I can cut
Yeah,
this
yeah.
fucker and eat it.
Could you ever imagine an eagle abusing somebody? No, you couldn't. But a pigeon, yeah. Like, they abuse us every day.
See, the
Shit
blood
on
eagle, the
the-
blood eagle ritual is a rite of retribution. It's a way that the Vikings used to cleanse themselves of a horrible atrocity that they have committed.
Yeah.
So,
And,
yeah,
I mean,
committing a blood
I would-
eagle
I would
against
like
a
to add on
pedophile. Go
I
ahead,
would like
Tia.
to add on to this that I don't think there are very many recorded and verified incidents of this trial being done.
No, there were not. I think there's.
There weren't. No, there wasn't.
Like you could
thing is,
probably
though,
count it on one hand still.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, you have to remember back then, like, Vikings weren't recording things like the Romans, well, they weren't putting them down on scripts and shit, like, and even to this day, like, some of the scripts that have been found of Vikings cannot be directly translated.
Yeah, because it's a
Where
dead
it's-
language.
Yeah, whereas from, like, Roman scripts with a Latin language that can be directly translated because it's Latin. Latin's a derivation of English, fucking Spanish, Italian, like, so
Yeah,
many
anything
other
that
languages.
pretty much had to do with the Vikings were all recorded from an outside culture.
Yeah,
Yeah.
most things were, yeah. And I mean,
Because the Vikings
Scotland
were
in
really
itself
trying to
was
tell
a
other
big
people
place.
how to do it.
Yeah, they weren't.
Yeah, because like, Scotland was literally, it was half Viking, half Scottish. Like, that's why most Scots today are like descendants of Vikings in some way.
On a side note, can I just ask, you guys are like into Viking shit,
Oh,
right?
yeah, hardcore.
No, how did
Nah,
how did
okay,
you
okay.
how did you get
I know,
that?
wow,
How did
so hard. Right, what do
I
you
mean, our
guys think
podcast
about
is called The
name?
Hidden Crypt, you know, like.
What?
yeah, we're in a server called Valhalla. Like, I mean,
Wait, you guys are gonna know more about this. Is there any meaning behind the name Ivar?
yes,
Like, what is the
That's-
meaning?
Ivar was actually a real Viking.
it was.
You're talking about the show Vikings, right?
Well, so my brother is getting a dog and he's
I'm
naming it
pretty
Ivar, and
sure-
I'm like just wondering what the name means.
To be honest with you, I'm pretty sure the name was not Ivar. I'm pretty sure it was Eva.
Is Sam fucking said it to me a couple days ago.
I'm pretty sure it was Eva. I'm pretty sure it was not
It
Ivar.
is, but if
That's
you
a dialectal difference.
Englishify it, if you Englishify it, you get what I mean.
What?
If you like make it slightly more.
Words? Speak words?
Words are hard, okay? Sometimes words get muddled up for me, like between two languages. Sometimes, like, I remember there was this one time I was on FaceTime with Dean and I was talking to my parents and Dean said something to me. And usually I switch to English very fucking quickly without thinking about it. But I just turned around and I was like, and I said what to Dean in Polish. And he fucking replied to me saying like, you know, repeat like what he just said to me. And I just like, I was so shocked. I was like, wait, he actually like replied even though I spoke to him like in a different language. I don't know. I was just like, it was a mindfuck for me. I remember just being so confused. I was like, wait, what just happened? I did not
Yeah,
speak English.
Us Scots are more intellectual than you thought. We can speak more than one language.
Well, Dean's actually pretty good at languages, I would say, because Dean catches onto words very quickly, I've noticed. If, like, sometimes I'll say something, like, in Polish, and he'll figure out what it means. And that's not a fucking easy language. Can't you guess your fucking words
it
half
is
the time?
not an easy language.
Like, half the time it's hard to even, like, guess what the word means.
Well, to be fair, when drunk, I was about to say when drunk gets Murph. When Murph gets drunk, even his Scottish is a little hard to understand.
It's not.
Aye, bro. It is, bro. Mate, my Scottish is solid to understand, bro, when I get mad with it, mate. Aye.
Tu lo quieres, say aye.
Not like that group of people from Canada where whether they're speaking English or
Aye,
French,
hold
no
on,
one
fuck it.
understands
Shut the
them.
fuck up. Wait, no, don't. Do not continue that sentence.
I already did.
No. No. I don't want to hear it. I don't. I really don't.
Like the
Let's-
accent's so heavy.
No, let's just fucking leave it there, right? Let's just leave it there, okay? Don't compare
Was it the
Scotland and
Canadians or the
Canada.
French?
Both.
Right,
Both.
so
Both.
Mark have a history of getting into debates over what country is better with a different Canadian, and oh my
With a
god,
different Canadian, what?
no, with a Canadian, that's what I meant. And Jesus Christ, we would go on for 2 hours straight.
Wait, hold on a minute. 9 times out of 10, when you get into an argument of what country is better with a Canadian, they always pull out maple syrup.
They do. They fucking do.
That is like the main point of their argument half the time.
They also pull up
Then they tell
free
you they
healthcare.
fuck trees.
They pull up free healthcare because they usually argue with Americans about it.
And then you're like, wait,
we've
hold
also
on, we have
we,
it.
Oh,
we have free
they've tried that
healthcare.
on me too. It's hilarious.
Hey, do y'all know what a Canadian milkshake is?
Is it like when you stick your dick in a tree, the fucking maple syrup pours out, put it in the ice cream, and then there you go, Canadian milkshake?
Oh, no. So a Canadian milkshake is
Oh,
you
okay.
take your junk, you dip it in maple syrup, right? And then
Oh,
you
so-
stick
yeah,
it in
no,
her
no.
mouth and you keep swishing it around until you finally ejaculate and your cum is the cream.
Alright, so
fucking
I wasn't too far off.
Jesus Christ.
Where?
I was just making fun of how this group of people somewhere in the world that
Honestly.
no one else can understand.
You
Because they
better
think
hope you
we're
don't
fucked
have any
up.
Canadian viewers.
Oh,
If you did, you just
God.
lost them all.
I wish you could see me right now, like, just. Oh God.
Turning bright red hearing this nasty shit being talked by these trucker adults.
Look, I have heard some
God.
fucked up shit, but like that, I don't think that'll be enjoyable for.
All because I
The
made
ghetto?
fun of an accent.
Tia, you're being
Right,
quiet.
tell you what, let's no go
I don't blame
into let's no go into the angry pirate. Let's no talk about the angry pirate.
Alright, we'll stay away from that.
Kinda why I talk about it now.
I was about to ask about it then. What has the angry pirate been, Murph?
Or do you want the literal definition?
Go for it.
Alright, so you come in a lassie's eye, you stomp on her toe,
Oh,
and then she
God.
jumps around like on one leg. Angry pirate.
Oh my God. If I had a guy do that to me, I would actually fucking snap his dick in half. And I can
You've
promise
also,
you that.
you've also got the angry bill, where you like
Oh.
kind of lean over a girl, you whisper another girl's name into her ear, and then you fucking hold on as long as you can.
There was another one I saw. It was called the Angry Cowgirl. Basically, you tie a guy to a bed.
Ooh,
You climb
So
on top
good.
of him,
Already.
right?
and you
I'm
whisper in
listening.
his ear, "I have AIDS," as you shove him inside of you, and then you see how long you can hold on for.
Right, let's set that out.
Tia, I saw you light up there, Tia.
All I have to say is if you do that to someone, you best be prepared for the consequences.
Yeah. When he said that, I was literally sitting there punching my hand as if it was someone's face.
Oh man, this has been a very, hopefully a good, entertaining first episode of the
like
Hidden
to
Care
think so.
podcast. I'm sitting here like my cheeks are hurting from laughing so hard. Like, so all right. In closing, let's see how long have we been going for? An hour and 45 minutes. So that's not too bad.
You got over what you were expecting.
So, Murph, I'm gonna give you an A plus, or yeah, we'll give you an A for your
wow,
story.
Hey, get your dick out. Get your dick out. I'm a socket to get my plus back. Shit.
MF, I'll give you an A as well for your awesome composure.
Watch me get the lowest grade.
Yeah, honestly, composed himself pretty well.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I got pretty
I
quiet.
pretended to be
No,
a
I
person
mean, you got
for an
quiet,
hour.
but I mean, at points where you got quiet, I would have really found it hard not to say something. So, I think you composed pretty well.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Wiki, you get an A for your enthusiasm. Like, you have been very bubbly and amazing during this first one. But Tia, I am gonna give
Oh,
Tia the
thank
A
you.
plus for actually being interjectable. Yes, you were quiet, but you kept conversations going with your comments. So Tia, you win tonight's first episode, which means next week you have a guaranteed spot on the podcast. And
If I'm available.
well, if you're not available, then Murph is going to be the runner-up.
Mhm.
Well, he
So,
can put down his drink.
right? Murph is like, man, I'm second best. What?
I'll take it. I made some inappropriate comments, and I ain't gonna lie, Tia pulled me up on them. So I'll take it.
So, Tia, think of Tia and Murph, just in case Tia's not available. Both of y'all think of 3 topics that y'all would like to talk about. And then think of 3 more topics just in case those 3 topics don't work.
I mean, what we've seen from tonight is you had 3 topics that didn't work. You made 1 topic that did work, and then everything just
it kinda
went
just-
from there.
Well, that's the way I kind of like I think that's going to be a really cool premise for this podcast is we'll start out with
Yeah, I
a
mean,
topic and see where it evolves from there.
Yeah, I mean,
Because we
it's
covered,
it's
like-
a good way to go.
Yeah, we covered a lot of just some good shit that...
Yeah, we did. Like, I mean, you started off and like,
It definitely
one
got a
place.
little tangential on some
Yeah,
topics.
it did.
Probably
did.
bring that in a little bit, but
Yeah,
other than that,
100%. I mean, there was
Well,
one
I
point
didn't-
where I kinda went a little bit too.
Can I just
Come
say,
on,
I didn't have the
I love-
itinerary,
that.
so like I didn't know what the fuck.
well, I
Yeah,
love
no, I
this
mean,
how we put-
I had the itinerary, but I mean, it's just one of those things where you can't help. But
Yeah,
just opinions.
it's like D&D. Yeah, you can create a premise, but no matter what you do, your players are always going to find a way to fuck up your story.
Yeah, pretty much.
I,